Omar Bradley, head of First Army, he comes up with a plan called Operation Cobra. Operation Cobra. Now, the U.S. Army's attack, here's the thing. They've been using, of course, tactical bombers all along here to take out German spots, right? Bradley decides if we're going to break out of the German lines, we need massive, undeniable air power. So what Bradley does is he actually says we need strategic bombers. We need B-17s to just carpet bomb an area. You can see this little area right here. Just carpet bomb that area and destroy everything in that spot. Destroy everything that's there, then we can just blitz right through, okay? So he orders this saturation bombing. But here's the thing. When Bradley, he goes back to London to confer with the air power guys to design this attack and design this air attack. Bradley says, I want you to come in parallel to the lines. So you're going to come in and you're going to bomb like that. You're going to fly from this area and bomb like that. The air power guys say, well, no, it's going to cost a lot of fuel. It's not going to be effective. Timing's going to be off. The best way to do it is to fly directly down and go perpendicular to the line and bomb that way. When Bradley leaves that meeting, both sides think they had prevailed. They had said, this is what we're going to do. So Bradley was expecting him to come this way. The Air Force is coming this way. So consequently, Bradley says, oh, these are your dispositions. You're good here. The problem is, when they actually begin that saturation bombing, you have significant friendly fire casualties. Significant friendly fire casualties. Many Americans were kind of within the margin of error of the attack here. And one of the men who dies here in this attack, do I have him? Yeah. Lesley McNair. Lesley McNair. Lesley McNair, you may remember, we talked about him several weeks ago. Does anybody remember who Lesley McNair was? Lesley McNair, you'll recall, he was the head of, it was the Army General Headquarters, later the Army Ground Forces. He's the guy that was responsible for the Louisiana maneuvers. He's the guy that planned with Mark Clark the Louisiana maneuvers, right? And he always wanted it. Throughout this war, he wanted a field command. But the problem was he came up in the artillery, and he was like stone deaf in one ear, okay? And he kept visiting the front. He actually visited the front in 1943 in North Africa, and he was wounded by artillery there. It nearly killed him there. But he keeps going. Here he's visiting the front, and he's killed during the saturation bombing during Operation Cobra. They had to identify him from his dental records because his body was just charred, you know. And he's one of 4 lieutenant generals that will be killed in the war. He's one of the 4 highest-ranking American officers that will be killed in World War II. Only one will be killed by enemy action, that we can confirm by enemy action, but he dies here from friendly fire. Now, the spearhead of the attack here, that's actually, once the bombing's done, once the saturation bombing's done, the spearhead of the attack that moves down here into the area is the 7th Corps led by J. Lawton Collins. He's the guy that took Cherbourg. J. Lawton Collins is, I'll tell you right now, for my money, he's probably the best combat commander, American combat commander in World War II. The guy, he's one of the few officers that fought both the Japanese and the Germans in the war. He was good at both attack and defense. I think he's a very good general. And his nephew is Michael Collins, whom you'll recall flew the orbiter in Apollo 11 while Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin went to the moon. So the First Army is able to push through the lines there, and they start moving down the coast, okay? So they start moving very quickly. They push through here in the first few days, and then they're going to start moving further and further down along the coast there and taking these towns. As they are doing that, the British are still at Caen. They're still trying to take Caen, that D-Day, first day objective. Okay? Montgomery, at the same time they launch Cobra, Montgomery's launching his own attack against Caen, another major attack against Caen. He later suggests that his plan was just to draw strength away from the Germans so the Americans could make this massive attack. He lied. He was dishonest. He was intending to actually push through Caen here. He thought this would be a successful plan here. He had expected a breakout along his front here, But the problem with Montgomery, I shouldn't even say the problem, because I have a lot of sympathy for Montgomery here in Normandy. He's overcautious. We know Montgomery's very slow and he's very overcautious. But here's the thing. In Normandy, he is told, the British tell Montgomery, we have no more infantry reserves for you. What you spend in infantry, you lose. You've got nothing coming in. So he kind of has to be cautious, right? He kind of has to make sure that his plans, and he's trying to do a thing where he's using artillery and air power to the best effect he can, but even artillery and air power can only do so much against these entrenched positions of the Germans here. So what he had was it. And so, like I said, I have this sympathy for Montgomery here in Caen.